Your call.
We will go down that end.
Okay, we'll start on D.
Okay, Russ, one of the captains of this Phat Chili team. Mate, team of masters. Tell me about it. How are the legs?
Yes, we had a pretty easy win first up today, and we've had a 4-hour break, so our old legs are thanking the gods for the draw, I think, so we're ready to run.
And how far do you think Phat Chili can go in the draw today, or in this weekend?
I'm sure it's no secret we've lost some big names, but we've got some young blood as well, filling the positions. So we'll just have to wait and see, but we're confident.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Russ. I'll let you get back to your team. Tom, one of the captains of Manly. How are you, young man?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Happy to be here on this sunny day in Nelson Bay.
It was raining this morning. Do you think the heating up conditions will have much effect on this game?
Yeah, I think it's in our favour for the Mullets. We love the nice, clean conditions that Manly back home offers us. And look, not much wind, no rain in sight. It's going to be a good game.
All right, well, good luck for the game, Tom. We'll go back to your commentators, Andy Maroney and Anna Stoddard, here shortly.
What is spirit of the game?
It's knowing the rules and when they apply.
It's avoiding body contact wherever possible.
It's keeping a positive attitude and enjoying the sport.
It's being fair-minded even when the game is on the line.
It's communicating respectfully with your opponent.
And welcome back to the Australian Ultimate Championships Division 2 in beautiful Nelson Bay. We've got the Manly Mullets from New South Wales versus Phat Chili from Victoria for you in the 4th game of today. How are you feeling about the game, Andrew?
Hi, Anna. Feeling very well. I think we've got two very different teams, and it's always fascinating. We've got different teams from different cities, different team compositions, different styles of play, for them to throw that at one another and see what happens. What's your take?
Well, Manly Mullets is a very interesting team to me. They're incredibly young. I think a rough stat they just gave me was that 70% of their team's under the age of 22. And I have a little bit of inside goss because I train at the same place they do, but I would say that you should expect plenty of energy and plenty of hype from them.
That's very interesting. I think you can expect similar levels of energy and hype, although I've had a bit of mail that 70% of the Phat Chili team can actually access their superannuation. So, very diverse sets there.
Right.
Steve Campbell walking past us, digging into his super, yes. So that's good. And also, Phat Chili, to be fair to Phat Chili, have been at the pointy end of the tournament the last 3 times it's been run. Admittedly, the last 2 times they were unsuccessful, lost both finals to the Geelong Mudlarks, and then prior to that, won the final. So they've, made the final the last 3 times. They'll be definitely looking to do the same again as Manly bringing in on offense.
They get underway pretty quickly, move the disc a few times up the fields in the pool. Diggins with the disc and tries to pass it off, but it's bobbled.
Early turn, Tipman Wong picks up, doesn't have a mark, does now, looks flick. Instead, moves back to Sasha Humphries. Sasha Humphries, big backhand fake, then elects to throw to Tim Horton, but there's been a call we don't think it's going to affect. There was a pick call in the stack, but the players can decide if it doesn't affect the immediate play. They can just keep it where it is. It doesn't need to go back to the last thrower. So a little bit of a chat going on. Tim Horton with the disc. Nassim cuts under, he's covered. Tim wants the dump, but he's got 2. There's so many going around. It left the break side open. It goes over Williams' heads, and Russell Nassim gets the first goal I can't say it was by design, but it was good enough. Chile having 2 players around the dump. For those new to Ultimate, the dump is a nice, easy lateral or sometimes backwards throw that resets the stall count. You've got to throw it within 10 seconds. Now, the challenge here, as you'll see on the replay, had Tippmann go up line and then both Raf and Sasha coming around and put a lot of space around the disc. However, the mark, Peter Ng, got sucked in a little bit and removed his mark, which meant Tim could put one out to the break side. Still not totally by design, exactly, but he saw probably his best chance with a high count. Puts a nice flat one out, and Russell Nassim.
It's a great catch.
Yeah, it's a pretty good grab.
Yeah.
So 1-0, early break.
Yeah, early break for Chile. You might notice while watching on the live stream a series of, look, I'm not going to make a comment on the quality, but a lot of the boys on the Manly Mullets have a mullet. That's, I think, commitment to the team that goes above and beyond what many teams do. But I don't know if I'm a fan of all of them.
Some rude lids out there for sure, Anna.
On the far sideline now, moving it pretty easily up the field. Miller with the disc. Breaks back to Richards. Looking to centre the disc, which is good.
The defence
Calder.
for Chile's broken down here.
Yeah, in front of the end zone now. Only a few passes left if they maintain composure. O'Brien.
Low hands, Billy. Low hands. Low hands.
Deegan stunts back to O'Brien. They're showing good patience in front of the end zone, not trying to force something in when it's not there, just resetting, bouncing back and forth. Ung throws one inside. Calder chucks one up, and it just bounces out of the hands of Miller, unfortunately. But up until that point, I think they showed a lot of good composure in front of the end
Yeah, good
zone.
closing speed from Russell Nassim as well. He's already having an influence on this game, as we see Teo Brown pick up the frisbee. One Raider comes under, hemmed in on the sideline. Big gainer under. Russell really exerting his force here. Throws the backhand out to Cole Fink. Cole snatches it on the end zone line, not in. And there's a goal.
2 breaks in a row for Chile.
Alex Felson with the goal. Yeah, really strong start from Chile. Two breaks in a row. Got to be said, Manly looking really good up until their end zone line drop.
It's good pressure from Richards on that deep grab as well, but I think did really well to come down with it.
And clearly, Russell Nassim has said to his family and friends back home, I'm going to be on the live stream, brought to you by Kayo Freebies. He's really G'd himself up to just be kind of everywhere, involved with everything, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, dominating the highlight reel. Always a good aim.
All right, so Manly looking to get on the board. Aldon there, rocking one of probably the rudest beards in modern times. That almost makes the mullets look acceptable.
Yeah, it's all about relativity.
I'd rather. Oh, run down off the pool, well done.
Butler on the far sideline. Looking for a reset, doesn't really have anyone. Moss comes back for him, catches under pressure, wants to give go. Ung throws it too quickly, and unfortunately it's a turn.
It's a little bit rushed. Steve Campbell to Rappaport. Adam Rappaport. It's Aldon. Aldon, big low break backhand. Back to Steve Campbell. Steve Campbell gets low, another low release backhand. Just makes it. He's got Aldon behind. Ball gets a bit close. And there's going to be a call. This is from Milo. I think there's going to be a fast count call because there was a stall. Yeah, he said fast count. Yeah. So you can see when a player calls fast count, that player is
fast count. Yeah, it's always just dropping 2. The only contact that goes to 1.
But if it's stoppage now, it's a violation, then it's uncontested, then the rule set should go back to 1 now. If it's,
All right, so well explained there from Ruben Berg, our game advisor and chair of the Ultimate Rules Committee. We are blessed with royalty today. Steve Campbell outside the front of the end zone line, looks back at, moves around, gets it Chile very happy to let the counts get high. We've had almost a stall. Aldon holds it, and that's a goal. Steve Campbell with the goal.
You've got to give credit to Manly's defence there. It was a lot of shutdown D.
Big time.
Not getting their first options off easily, but luckily, I think Chile's got a lot of composure and clearly ready to be patient and throw the disc when it's ready to be thrown.
Totally. I was going to say something similar. I think they're pretty cool to throw it on stall 8, stall 9 because they're confident in the quality of their throws that it won't be kind of compromised by that kind of pressure.
Right, so Manly now 3 breaks down in a row. But it's not like in the points they're getting dominated. It's just those little execution errors right at the end of their flow of play that are the problem.
Great.
Clean that up and this could be quite a close game.
I think there's a bit of adjusting as well that Manly can do with their offense that could probably exploit some of Chile's weaknesses. You know, they've got some quick players, but some players that are probably more happy to poach and won't necessarily run with. So if they can start really exploiting that in the cutting lanes, that's where you might see a little bit more success.
Ball received by O'Brien. Nice catch. Thrown up. Noah Moss on the far side of the field. Throws one to Carter. They're still on the sideline over there. Gives and goes with Moss.
That's better.
Gains a fair few metres. Big wide one out to Dave O'Brien. Gets on his knees to grab it. Tom Butler's still waiting for him in the middle. Sends a flick out to Calder.
Nice round back.
They're not afraid to break the mark, Manly.
That's good.
Confident in their throws. Moss sends one up high. There's a few under it.
Anna, that one's on you.
That's 2 for me.
3-2, I think, is the score.
That's 2 for me, yeah.
Commentators' curses. But you might get this back. There is a foul call. Mark Calder.
contested foul. Foul call. Contested. Back to the thrower. You need to go back to where you were when the disc was thrown. Still count.
Yeah, so when a foul's contested, it'll go back to the last uncontested throw, which would have been Noah's throw.
Well, anyone wanting a lesson in the rules or being a game advisor, it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, just listen
Literally
to
the guy who wrote the book.
Diggins with the disc, trying to get off the sideline, gets one back to Dave O'Brien. Sends it across the field with an inside flick. Calder pops one over to Moss. Having a bit of give-go. Oh, a bit of a dodgy throw to Butler. And a foul's called.
What up you in there?
Well, I was off balance as I threw it. So yeah, you called a foul as you threw it? Yeah. Yep. And it sounds like it's contested? So it's where you were when this pass was thrown?
Step this way. Or like,
Still count?
All right.
Another contested foul. Calder and Moss back to their give-go ways. Sends one beaming into the end zone, and it's caught by Matt Diggins, sliding on his knees in style. Nats. First point on the board for Manly Mullets.
Exactly, they're on the board, so they'll be feeling good about that. Some good defense by Phat Chile, but also what I really liked was the way that they were getting the give-goes. You know, we talked about Manly evolving their offense a little bit. They've got some pace off the like on the first couple of steps, probably more so than most players on Chile.
Yeah.
So, if they're able to kind of exploit that space in front and use that to quickly reset counts, but also advance the disc up the field, I think they're going to have a bit more luck.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got to, if Chile's got the experience and the composure, they've got to make up for that probably in more athleticism and more speed.
Spot on. So we're going to get a look at Manly's defensive unit now. Should be exciting.
Their D-line's led by Noah Moss, only 18, which is probably the median age of players on this team. And he's sending up the pool.
Nice deep pull. Rude Beard, Captain Rude Beard, Aldon to Raf Bulens, back to Aldon. Aldon over to Adam Rappaport. Adam rocking a bit of a mullet himself. He could probably move over to Manly. Great up the line from Al now, and Al lets one go. It's a big wide backhand to Milo underneath it, and it's a goal.
Just read the disc better.
Yes, Milo. His full name is Camilo Montoya Geraldo, who quite mercifully said to me, "Just call me Milo," out on the field. So well done, Milo.
But again, I think another example of composure. Players often get sucked in when their defenders come forward to try and get the disc when it's up in the air, but he was confident in his read, stayed put.
Yeah.
Jumped in for good measure.
And a great cut from Aldon. We were talking about Manly's ability to kind of cut up the line, so that means in front of the disc, as you'll see here. And that gives them what we call power position, where you've kind of got 1 second where the mark isn't on you, and you can throw more or less wherever you want on the field. And I think he did really well there. Steve Whelans with the pull.
Here we go, Phat! Here we go, Manly! Here we go, Phat! Great ball!
Fielded by Cowder. Straight over to O'Brien. They get some good flow off the pull reception.
Okay.
All of it on the far sideline. O'Brien pops back to Ung. Oh, a good catch under pressure. Getting every second pass at the moment. O'Brien sends it to the near sideline. Jiggins into the middle of the field. Doesn't have a mark, no pressure on him at the moment. Nice easy throw. Looks like there's a pick being called. So players will have to stop and go back to where they were when the call was made.
Much better flow from Manly.
Miller sends one to Diggins.
Go Dubs! Go Dubs!
He's looking at the end zone, turns around, tries to reset it, pops it up. Miller again.
Hold the force!
Slots one through to Diggins, who again catches it on his knees. I don't know if I've seen him score a goal on his feet yet.
Nice work from Manly. 4-2 now.
Yeah, it looks like they've settled down a little bit.
Yep.
Got rid of the nerves and got rid of the little silly mistakes. Now it's just have to get a break.
Something that's interesting about, I guess, this matchup specifically, and I'd shudder to think of the average age if Dave O'Brien wasn't on the team. It would be even older. I think Dave's, tipping the balance towards the mature end a little bit, but Dave O'Brien, from memory, is a ex-Australian representative player, played for the Australian men's team called the Dingoes. We talk about Division 2 really being a breeding ground for future talent and things like that. It's also where, I guess, more senior players come to still play the game competitively, have fun. Dave's here with, obviously with his background, but also on the Chile team. You've got Teo Brown, who played on the Australian mixed team. Mike Baker did the same. So you've got some players that have actually really played at some of the highest levels. Steve Whelans as well. So there's a lot of experience. Aldon, you could probably put almost close to a dozen players between both teams in Australian jerseys at some point in the last 2 decades, which is it's pretty impressive, and I think goes to show that there's still a really rich pool pool of talent within not only the first division but the second division as well.
It's great to see. I think Div 2 indicates more than Div 1 how the quality of Australian Ultimate as a whole is improving every year.
Aldon, well, massive bid, but it's Mike Baker keeps his composure, gets it in power position, hits the under. That's a really composed under. Chris Koo, seen recently coaching the Chile women's team, now playing. Another big bid, Mike Baker. Some big bids so far. Mike Baker, left-hander, sticks one out wide, and that'll be a goal.
Well
Alex
in.
Felsen. That was really impressive. Probably both sides. I mean, the first thing you notice is Chile's composure, and that was moved down the middle of the field. No real high counts. But I also think Manly deserve a lot of credit. There were 2 or 3 bids there where you had some young lads getting pretty horizontal. The first one you'll see here on Mike, really nice bid.
Tom Butler. Yeah, a few mullets flying in the wind.
Another one there. And then a really well-weighted throw to Alex Felsen.
Dan, what have you got for us on the other side of the field?
Well, Dave O'Brien, he played his first Worlds in 1998. He played 4 in total. His last one was in 2008.
That's just phenomenal.
It's a long-spanning career.
My hamstrings hurt thinking about that.
There we go, Manly!
Ung fields the pool really nicely, pops it off to O'Brien straight away. Gaining some metres pretty quickly. Cowder looking for a reset.
Such a good up the line.
Up the line cut from O'Brien. Breaks him free. Diggins now. Quickly moving. Richards finds him in the end zone. Easy, you like it. On the chest. Yeah, definitely seeing more composure from Manly now. They've settled themselves in.
I heard from, I don't know if it was the sideline or on the field, but someone said kind of take it easy, composure out the front of the end zone. And I think that's probably one of the big adjustments we've seen from Manly's first 3 points to their second 3 is that they're just taking that extra second, particularly in their red zone, towards the end zone line. And, they're keeping touch.
It's often something you see in young teams, uni teams, is the lack of discipline around the end zone. But they've got pretty good structures. It's pretty impressive. And obviously it's paying off for them now.
So after getting a bit of weather this morning, just light drizzle, it's actually cleared up a fair bit. It's starting to get actually a bit warm.
A bit bright.
Which is good.
The wind's definitely less of a factor this game than it's been in previous ones as well.
Agreed. Which actually probably evens things up because I think Chile would say that their best skill is throwing, particularly in conditions. So yeah, I think that evens things up quite a lot.
Gone all the way out the back.
It's like a really poxy Johnny Depp kind of Pirates of the Pirates of Nelson, the Pirate of Nelson Bay. That's what I'm going to go with.
I think it's accurate.
It's a bit different.
I want to know who did the braids. Can they teach me?
That screams a bit of homegrown to me, to be honest. As we see a nice under from Cole Fink. Cold throwaway. Was looking for Koo, but a little bit of a miscommunication, obviously, between those two players.
Big break chance for Manly now.
You're not going to get a better chance. Oh, well, short of it being in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Massive chance.
The only thing they need is what we've been talking about, composure.
Yeah. So it does look like a very deliberate setup from both teams. Chile happy to collapse right in and basically dare Manly to go around, which they will do. Nice bid.
Big layout bid from Tom Butler. And a break backhand. Did he manage to keep his feet in?
That's a break.
They seem to think so. And a spike for good measure. That's a great break.
And so for people who might have a basic understanding of Ultimate and want to get to that next level of strategy, we'll see it on the replay. is the way that Chile's set up. They collapsed all of their players towards the close side of the field. That made the space in front. You'll see there 76, Cole. That made the space in front really hard to get. But the trade-off is if Manly swing it around and they move it to the middle of the field, which they did thanks to that amazing grab, it then gives them a lot of options out wide. And you see that, he towed it in, but he had time to be able to tow it in. That's the difference in strategy. Some teams, particularly less experienced teams, will just try and jam it in that little corner, which works for Chile because they've got so many players around it. But if you can be patient, and as we've said, I think the word of the day or word of the game will be composure. That's really where Manly have had one break, and if they keep it up, they'll get a couple more.
Yeah. Moss setting up the pool.
I like these pools. They're coming in with a little bit of heat. Aldon takes it well. Around backhand, foul called. No foul. Yes, foul called. Both teams, the thing that excites me about both teams here is they're looking to really exploit the break side. So that is the side that the defender and the defender's defensive team don't want them to throw to. And so you'll notice that's why the defender is standing on one side. Al goes for the same throw, this time on the inside forehand, and again, it's a turnover, this time without the foul. And Manly now have a chance to get a break back.
Even it up. Oh, Moss approaching the disc. Got Tom Butler back with him in dump. Stack's quite deep, actually. Lots of space for Butler to get it. He gets up the line. Looks for a throw to the end zone. Pops it back to Noss. He's got plenty of space to spin it to Jewel.
Well done.
Out to Butler again. There's someone free in the end zone. He decides to holster it. Looking for Moss. Throws to him in the corner.
That's a goal.
Noah Moss. Second break. We're back on serve, 5-all. Once again, there was a fair few holsters there. They could have jammed it, but they decided not to. It might have worked, but why not make it a sure thing?
Exactly. Yeah, no, perfectly said. And now I think we're going to see the first time out. Called by Chile. Al just pushing that a little bit. As Dan, we'll head over to you.
More fun facts for you, Andy. Just talking to Kayo Get the Block Brown. The first time he played Worlds, 1999 for him. I didn't leave high school until 2000. 51 years. Kayo Brown is young at the moment.
It boggles the mind. He's in reasonable nick too. Is Kayo?
Well, there's reasonable nick and then there's great nick.
50. Yes, and they'll need him in form if Chile are to respond, because right now it's back on serve. Good man, Kayo Brown. Good Frisbee family, the Browns. Kayo, Kelly, their little ones. If I was wearing a Chile top right now, the only thing I would be saying is do not put me on Noah Moss. He's, outside of wavy Dave O'Brien, Noah Moss looks like he's doing it all at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
just wouldn't want to be marking anywhere near him. I'm getting tired watching
Getting the
him.
disc at will, really.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see now that they've got the momentum back. Do they carry it through and continue to break, or is it going to be more of an evens? One score, one the other.
Here we go, Phat!
Right. Noah Moss once again with the pull. See how spicy he gets it this time.
I've liked the pulls.
Chile not shying away though. They've been getting under them and catching them.
Agreed. So this one taken, Aldon to Steve Campbell. Steve Campbell, nice cut, Mike Baker. Nice easy under to Alex Felson, who's having a good game as well. To Milo. Milo to Felson. Felson, give go to Steve Campbell. They've got it up. Now Juan Redder. Juan doesn't have a mark on, does now. Engages the dump. And there's a pick called, so it's going to come back a couple. So Chile once again running 2 dumps, which is a bit unconventional because things get very busy behind the disc. So hits Mike Baker. They sorted out this time, which is good. Felson comes open side. Instead goes to Campbell open side. Camby. Oh, nice bid. Nice D. A clean D as well.
Noah Moss in the middle of
you
it
know
again.
who.
Sends a flick deep straight away. Tom Butler's running under it. He's got separation. And that is a regulation grab. Beautiful D from Noah Moss. Beautiful throw. Beautiful catch. Very pretty point.
Incredible D. Incredible D. And that brings it back to evens now. We're now on serve. Chile were on D to start. And I'm sure we'll see a few replays of that. And good spirit from Aldon. There was a little bit of contact, but we call that incidental contact because Moss got kind of in past him. Couldn't help. Well, it was unavoidable contact, I guess.
Yeah.
But both players keeping each other safe. That was fantastic. I think that'll go on the end of day highlight reel.
Yep.
Dan.
Well, I just got some insight from Cole Fink, one of the players of this Phat Chile team. He mentioned that it's really their own errors that are putting them in this situation at the moment, not so much what Manly are doing.
I think Cole is correct until a point ago, Dan. I think Moss would have something to say about that one in particular.
It was based on the timeout call that happened before that point. So,
yeah. Well, at least they're forcing, if there's a silver lining for Chile, at least they're forcing Manly to take the disc off them rather than it being unforced. And credit to Noel Moss. So I want to evolve my position before. I didn't want to mark Noel Moss. I now don't want Noel Moss marking me.
You don't want to be anywhere near
just
general.
If he walks on the field, I'll go off. I'll sub myself off.
That sounds smart.
If he injury subs himself on the field, I'll injury sub myself off it. So pressure now for Chile. Came out really strong. Now need to respond. Teo Brown setting the stack. Moss and Brown. And Moss is coming in again. And he's got it. He is absolutely everywhere. And that's another break.
Straight away. You could see he was watching it about 5 seconds before it was thrown. Predicted the future, I'm pretty sure.
Do you mean the entire game?
Yeah.
He may have predicted that he's going, okay, I'll get 17 Ds this game, because currently he's on 2 or 3.
Yeah, he just rolls the dice before the game. Whatever number comes up is what he gets.
So as we'll see here, Moss, Brown just dragging the stack a little short, which meant he could come in off that and actually had the space before. It was almost Steve Whelans that had to bid to try and keep the disc. Moss, it was almost like it had been thrown more to him. So Sasha Humphries might want that one back. If he gets another point this tournament, he might have a chance. We love Sash, good man, good band. But most importantly, good play from our main man, Moss.
Yeah, I think momentum's definitely swung the way of Manly now. They've scored 4 in a row.
Yeah, it's been a run. Yeah, I think you're right. It's definitely 5-3.
I think if Chile can pull this back more into a trading game, then it might even out and they might lose their momentum a little bit.
I think you're right,
work harder on O for it.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think right now the worst thing Manly could do is try and go, oh, well, they're going to put their heads down. And here we go, the offside call, so they're going to take a brick, I believe. Chile have probably, I'm not exaggerating, probably close to 150 years of experience on this team. They've been down before. They've been down more than this, and they've come back and won. Yeah. So I think Manly, the best thing that they can do, as there's just a little bit of confusion because it is now a brick, or the best thing they can do is steel themselves and know that, Chile are going to respond at some point. So, because Manly was offside, so they were ahead of the line when they threw the pull, there'll be an automatic brick to Aldon. And the bid on Mike Baker, and he eats up the pressure again. Goes Juan Radar, Russell in the sim, early, very busy, gone a bit quiet since. Looks to Steve Whelans. Steve, little backhand to Juan Radar. And Juan looks for the goal, bid, it pops out. I think that was Rusty again. It was. Giving it a red hot go, but things just not going to plan for Chile.
Definitely a bit of pressure building on Manly's defence. I feel like there's a body flying through the air each point now. Moss going to pick up from the far corner. That looks like a very deliberate play Manly just did then. I think I even heard someone counting down, and it almost came off.
Yeah.
Probably just pushed a bit too far by the wind.
Quick pick up from Steve Campbell. Moves it across to Felson. Cuts have kind of dried up here. One Raiders covered. Kind of get behind. Really late throw, but Mike Baker's been quite solid. It's probably Russ. Oh, Aldon. Nice cut. He was coming under, but I think Mike was throwing to the out cut just as Al turned under to cut to the to go to the under.
Bit of a miscue.
Oh, get it back.
Once again, we'll see Noah pick it up. Will he throw it deep again? Yes, he will. Another huge flick, but unfortunately his receiver goes down. Jordan Richards.
Be interesting to see what happens here because I couldn't quite pick up who was ahead.
I think they call a foul the other way.
I don't think there is a call from Richards.
There are yeah, okay. So there
is a call.
There was a pick call actually from the Chile players in the stack. So double injury. So both players are okay. They're coming off under their own steam, which is a positive sign. I think the discussion now was the pick before the throw. And so the players just trying to talk it out. I don't think anyone's yeah, it's a turn. I don't think anyone can reasonably expect that they would have got to that.
No.
Not even Moss.
Don't think that would have
given he threw it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he was anywhere else. Yeah, if he was anywhere else. All right. So, again, if you're just getting into the strategies of Ultimate, you see the different formations. This is a bit more of what we call a horizontal stack or a horizontal formation as Cole Fink grabs it. Mike Baker covered very closely. Another bit up the line. Cole Fink in power position, doesn't use it. Canby's free. Gets out now as it's Aldon with the disc. Aldon, little low inside backhand to Russell Nassim. Another bid. Mike Baker has had a shadow on his shoulder the entire time. Lets a flick go. It'll be Tipman Wong. I think he was trying to tow it in anyway. I think he was out. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There is another injury call. And this time it'll be Dean Milne coming off.
Expensive point. I think this is an important point for Chile to score in the momentum of the game.
Big time. I mean, we've kind of said it the last couple of points. They'll come back.
Yeah.
Manly score this, it's half. So, you know, you don't want to wait too long before timing your run. But
they were free ahead, Chile. Now they're almost free down.
Yeah.
All right. Moss is going to take the disc. Bring it to the front of the end zone line. It looks like Manly's going to set up in a more vertical structure, gives them space on either side of the field to go. Moss taking his time, throws to a very pressured Butler. Diggins looking for the big one, sends quite a low flick and it's intercepted.
And that's a perfect example of where experience, you know, Steve Whelans knew exactly what that player wanted, ran into lane to actually catch that disc. As Juan Raider throws to Russell Nassim, who's back. He had an early first few points, got amongst it, had a little breather, but now remembered he's on the stream.
Yeah.
Remember he told his his mum and his partner and
Important
his
people.
uncle, check me out. I'm on the stream. I'm on Kayo freebies.
Yeah. His highlight ratio is dropping below 60%. You can't have that.
I think he's just watched Moss and gone, okay, I need a piece of that. So well done from Chile. Well done from Steve Whelans as well. Reading that disc, seeing that Manly player wanted to throw long, ran straight into the lane of into the kind of line, the direction of that frisbee, and picked it off. But now they're going to need to do what they did at the start of the game and come out really strong and try and force some Manly errors, because Manly planning to take half.
Yeah.
First to 8 is half time. Game to 15 or 80 minutes.
See my maturity. I don't bite on that.
Dave O'Brien fills that pool. Pops it up to Calder.
Interesting look. It looks like a bit more of a junk look now. Zone.
Just hold, Marty. Just hold.
Brian pops it out to the sideline.
Just hold right there, Marty, right there. One on your right shoulder.
Now they're spreading it across the field, which is good, particularly effective in zones. Miller, back to Ung. Miller looking for a pass forward, can't find one, so he throws it back across to Ung. He finds one through the cup. O'Brien's on this sideline. They're just throwing it back and forth, making the people on the disc run plenty of kill drills. Jewel.
Alex, you got one creeping out here. Don't worry about him now. One behind you. One behind you.
Miller and Ung passing it between themselves at the moment, pretty much. They're looking pretty happy to just keep throwing it as many times as they have to slowly inch it down the field.
Anders, Archie.
Calder. Back out to O'Brien. Can he squeeze one through? No, happy to throw it back across.
Looks like they've transitioned now into a match.
Ung right in front of the end zone. Can he pop one through? Doesn't want to squeeze it.
Well done, Raf. Okay.
Travel possibly called.
Yeah, travel call.
Good, good. As long as it takes. What's the force? Keeping the force. End zone.
Chile trying to work out that defensive look. Looks like they've moved back into the junk now. Oh no.
Very easily passes one through to Archie Richards.
And that's half. But just before we go to half, there are two types of zones. There's a containing zone and there's a pressure zone. And the pressure zone is where you put a lot of players around the disc and try to force a small turnover. There are also containing zones where, some of the throws are a bit more open, but they're not moving it across the field. Chile was stuck between both then. It wasn't a pressure zone, but it wasn't a containing zone. And, if you don't know which one you're kind of trying to do, it's exactly as you said. They were moving it across all areas of the field, but not with too much pressure. And if you play a zone like that, you really become dependent on basically an unforced error.
Yeah.
Which, at the lower levels, that might happen. But, with two top flight teams, you probably need to work out your defensive structure a bit better than that. Dan, I believe you've got the man of the hour, really, or the man of the half. Over to you.
Yes, the man of the hour, the man of the moment, Noah Moss. Noah, some massive layout bids from the boys there.
Oh, we're getting around it. We really love it. It's our culture at Manly to go big, go home. Really proud of how we brought this game back.
Listen, I want to change subjects a little bit and give you a bit of a layout. When were you born? What year?
2003.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a moment. Noah, how are you going to win this game?
Defense, and we're going to be, I've forgotten our motto, but we're just going to be hard. We're going to play this hard really, really right through to the end. We're going to keep running, and we're going to use our legs.
All right, thank you, Noah. Good luck for the rest of the game. So 2003, Noah was born. As we heard earlier, some of the men on this Phat Chili team were playing Worlds at that stage.
Yes, and it had been multiple Worlds representatives. So, yeah, I mean, you've got to be impressed. You're scared and impressed that someone can still go around after that amount of time. But credit to Noah, he's blasted onto the scene. It's very good to see. Dan, at some point, would love to get a rundown of what the Manly motto is. He said he forgot that, but let's try and find out. Right now, my hypothesis is mullets, 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 but it might be a little bit deeper than that. So as you can see on the sideline, crowd starting to build. It's the showcase field. And you'll also see, and this is an interesting one that you might and I have a view on, a lot of Manly teams, not just the Manly team playing, but there seems to be a really strong presence here at Div 2 Nationals.
Yeah, there's I think a definite culture of support in the Manly club as a whole. There's a fair few Div 1 girls that have come down for the weekend to support both the women's and the 2 men's teams. And I think it definitely, I mean, this is a team sport, but like clubs are an even bigger part of it, and there's a culture that I think extends beyond just the particular, 18 men on the field. And sometimes it wins you games.
Yep. Oh, definitely. So is it 3 teams that are here this weekend?
Yeah, 2 men's teams and 1 women's team for Manly.
And there's also, is there a team playing at Div 1 as well, or they're all here?
There's a Manly women's Div 1 is going to Div 1. I think Manly Mullets were vying for a Div 1 spot, but there was very tight competition in NSW and not enough spaces. But you can see their quality is definitely almost there.
Was Moss playing that tournament?
I think so.
Oh, wow. Must be tough. Good first half. Good fight. And we're going to continue to see fight into the second half. As we get ready for the second half, just before we do, we'll check in with Dan Clinton.
I did find out the Manly motto for you, Moz. Apparently, it's defence disrupt. Dave O'Brien was standing right next to Noel Moss when he said this, and he looked quite surprised about this motto. Apparently, it's a ongoing thing.
Okay, all right. Well, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Whatever Noah is doing, that's working for him. Defense disrupt. Sounds like the name of like a tech conference. But anyway.
Or maybe one of those hipster bands that they listen to these days.
Oh, yeah. Well, Manly might know about that stuff, but I don't think the 3AW crew of Chile will hear too much. And I'm listening to Gold 104.3 these days, so I'm probably not that much better.
You guys still listen to radio?
Ah, there it is. Spotify? Is that what it is? Spotify. Yeah. I was close. Is the YouTubes still around? Is that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. MySpace? No?
I think it might still exist.
Right, technically.
There might be 2 people on it still, not sure.
Second half underway.
Moss with another really spicy, really bladey pull.
Aldon happy to let that one hit the ground, manages to reel it in, and Steve Campbell to Felson. Felson sees a nice cut going long, doesn't want it, instead goes under to Mike Baker. Sells a really nice bit of candy. Goes the around backhand to Marlowe. Aldon's gone up the line probably a dozen times so far today, and it's looked really good. But he just lets that one sit in the hand. It just gets caught on his finger a little bit. Mike was another good undercut. I will also say, because we had a great view of it from here, the tightness of the D made Al just think twice and almost want to hold it.
Yeah. Hesitation will kill you.
Exactly.
Tom Butler in the middle of the field. Throws one out to Poe. Gets it back on the far sideline. Looks for a big throw. Sends pretty flat forehand. Oh, and Poe dives for it, but he's just, I think, 2 ground before he could get there.
Aldon. Sans hat with beard. Cuts are a little bit slower now. High count. Great around backhand to Campbell. Goes to Don. To Marlowe. Not looking by any way pretty, but Mike Baker continuing to move the chains up the field. Getting a lot of unders. Wants the dump. Count's getting high. Puts a Hail Mary up to Steve Campbell. So an offensive breakdown probably for quite a few throws there. They managed to reset it, but it was not intentional. It wasn't pretty.
No.
Ultimately brought them undone. But I think that's also, credit to Manly. They were able to disrupt the defense.
They were. Now that they all know what the motto is.
Yeah, well, most of them. most of them. The bloke that doesn't is getting the most Ds.
Yeah.
So anyway, go figure.
And speaking of which, he sends another big flick deep. And, it's just popped out of the way.
Mike Baker, well done. Still got it. He'd be another one pushing 40. Still got it. As we'll see Aldon walk to the disc now. Now let's see if Chile can adjust. They are going with a horizontal defence, which means the space will be in front or behind this kind of straight line that goes across the field. Felsen was free as a bird, manages to now get it. Has no mark. Felsen comes back. Raf goes in. Al, nice bid, grab, keeps it in, toes it in. And then Al, I think, gets hand blocked. And you know, so we talked about telegraphing earlier, where Steve Whelan's pick went off. That was telegraphed by Al, and his defender was able to read that. Also really hard when you're putting it from the sideline.
Yeah, you don't have much space to move.
So now, conversely, Manly going with a vertical offence, which means the space will be on their left and right. Looking down the field.
No, Moss looking to get it off the sideline. Butler's cutting for him. He throws an inside break across the field to Poe.
Stellar.
And there's a hammer for a nice and easy goal in the end.
9-6. That's a break straight out of half, and now expect the pressure to come. Chile are the kind of team, I wouldn't be surprised if they do start being a little bit more deliberate about their lines. They have players that have played together for close to 30 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's when you can start relying on those connections, when some of the cuts start drying up, fatigue starts setting in, and kind of most of all the pressure starts to build. That's when you really rely on that experience and those connections.
Yeah, whereas Manly has the... it's a mental challenge in both ways. They've really got to keep their momentum ahead and keep piling on the pressure instead of going, oh, we've got them now,
Totally.
we've got a 3-point buffer, we can kind of ease off the gas.
Yeah, totally. It's been a pretty free-flowing... I mean, we haven't seen, I think, many games go to time cap, to points cap.
No.
This one might. 48-minute mark, 9-6. It'll certainly get up there. As Moss lets another wide one rip. One Raider does well, and Sasha Humphries does well to reel it in. Oh, and another big D!
He's going to go for the goal. No, Ung holsters it, passes it off to Diggins.
And there'll be a pick call. But
did he drop that or was that a foul?
so there's a few things going on here. There was a pick, and now Russell's having a discussion as to whether there was a foul.
No, that was...
I don't really
that was
think
all
there
in his
was
own
much. Maybe we'll see it one more time just to see if there's something we've missed. I don't think there is. Yeah, I think the right outcome. So now the discussion is, was there a pick? Obviously didn't affect. It's in.
Yeah, that's a turn.
I shouldn't ask, but I will. Who got that, D?
Do you want to
take a guess?
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it was Noah.
Oh, yeah, it was Noah. Absolutely was Noah.
Nice, great up the line from Sasha. And Russell's gone deep. And Russell will have to work. He'll have to get on his bike to get this. He goes, bids. Can't get it. Oh. You could tell he was huffing and puffing and blowing his house down, but couldn't get to the disc. Nice throw from Rappaport, releasing Humphries into space. And it was a nice, good cut from Russell. Had so much room to make up. Nice bid. Disc just past him. Yeah. Would have been a top 10.
Moss sending a big flick, almost intercepted. Malone sends it up the line. Just quick passes up the line. Yeah, that's probably good. Center of the disc, get it out of that space. Back to Malone, back to Ung. Lots of fast movement, keeping the defense on their toes. Nice. airy backhand to get on the other side. And another one for the goal caught by Diggins. He redeems himself.
And is there a call? There's a pick call. I believe there is. Yes, it's going back. So this is massive. Oh. I don't know if we're able to see that one more time. Oh, I couldn't necessarily see a pick off the front there.
They've all agreed.
Anyway, teams all agreed. They've had a discussion.
Centers to Moss. Pops it back out to tries to throw it over the Chile player, but he's not going to sneak that one past him.
So Manly need to key in here because instead of 10-6, they might be looking at 9-7. They almost are.
Bidding Moss isn't able to get it.
Cole doesn't have a count on, so can take his time. Does now. Fine Raider. And there is not a lot of movement going on. He puts it over the back to Cole, but it won't get there.
Jewel takes it down. Moss in the corner. Sends it back to him.
Ooh, lefty if you don't mind.
Caleb Miller fakes a big one. Puts it back to Jewel. Higgins just working it easily up the open side line.
They're out on their feet here.
Dean Mill.
Bid! Oh! That's Tippy. Tippman Wong. What a great bid. Read the play well.
That's the thing about continuously throwing it up the line. It's pretty easy to predict where the disc is going to be and where you have to jump to get it.
Timeout. A very wise timeout call from Sash. Took one look up, didn't see anything that he liked. And I think they are off on their feet here, out on their feet. As we'll see the first one, this is a nice high grab from Fink. High-ish, double-hander. Moss working hard not to foul. And this is the throw to Fink. Can't get there.
Thought he could throw it up and over the Manly player, but I think it dropped a bit too much.
That's a great D from Tippman Wong.
Once again, he peeled off his player to read that.
Well read, and that's the we kept talking about the experience being able to preempt throws. We've seen that from Steve Whelans. We've seen that from Tippman. But this is a massive part of the game because you're either looking at 10-6, where you start thinking, all right, is this going to be a boil over? Or you're looking at 9-7, where it's very much still obviously game on.
Yeah,
so
both in it.
Cleared right up. You can see the sun's come out. Beautiful day up here in Nelson Bay. We're thrilled to be able to bring you this coverage thanks to Kayo Freebies and Ultimate TV for our international viewers. As we're going to get some messages from each of the huddles, and to bring us that, Dan Clinton.
Just listening to Cole Fink, one of the players of this Phat Chili team. The first question he asked is, what is the average age of our team, and can we play old offense, please?
Right.
What do you think the phrase old offense means?
Look, in Chile terms, it used to mean huck it to Tom Rigaki or get Tom Rigaki to huck it to someone else. But given that Tom's not on the team, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a bit of long game. Chile were known for their long game. So I think you might see Steve Whelans and Tippman Wong go deep and try and open this space under. Violation.
Bit of confusion on the count in. Everyone just making sure
Third
they're in
time
the right
lucky.
place.
All right, thank you, Cole. All right, you see.
Yeah.
They go deep. Really good D. Creative hammer. Maybe that's what old offense means. Cole Fink's open under. Looks at Steve Whelans. Tipman Wong's got it. He lands in. This is Tipman Wong's point. That's inbounds. Does the great thing, preserves his greatness, and just centres it back to Steve Whelans. And there's a pick now. Tipman Wong. One man highlight reel here. He's giving Noah a run for his money now. So sit down, Russ. I'll be the hero.
Yeah.
I think almost everyone had given up on that disc, but Tippy, understanding the conditions, knew it was going to hang up a little bit, took a great grab, and it managed to keep it in as well.
That's probably the kind of grit and the kind of mindset they need to have for the rest of the game.
100%. Don't give up on those discs.
Yeah.
I mean, it was past Wheeler. I'm not hanging it on Wheelie, but he dropped his head straight away, and you never know with these. Frisbee's an interesting sport because it can just sit there and hover.
Yeah.
And Tippy obviously took that chance. One rated really hard under, really well covered. Cole Fink picks one off of his bootlaces, looks at Sasha. Sasha looks at Russell. And I think he's caught the goal. Has he caught it in? He has. 9-7. So a really important point goes Chile's way. They maintain contact. It's 9-7. But as you say, and plenty more to do. This is the mindset. They need to have a really scrappy mindset to play out this game if they're to get close.
Mongrel mindset. But I'm sure that with all their experience, they have many memories of many games like this that they've already played. And the confidence to go, well, we've got out of this before, we can get out of this again.
Yeah. You're making me look like I'm calling. Job's not done, job's not done. Like, all right, we're starting on 3. And I was like, all right, just going on 3. It kept going 3. It was stalling in my head.
Cole moves it out to Sash. Another bid. We've seen a lot of bids this game. It's been fantastic.
Credit to Chile. That doesn't really, I don't think they're getting drops forced by those flying players.
Yeah.
It's more when they manage to get a hand on it, but otherwise they're just kind of a fly going past.
Yeah, you're spot on. I think we've seen a couple of games today where perceived pressure or that inferred pressure results in what gets probably noted down as like an unforced error, but it wouldn't have happened had they not been right on their hammer. So I think you're spot on. I think Chile have done well to absorb that pressure as we see them run down.
Ung catches the pull nice and easy, straight to Dave O'Brien. Throws one out wide to Caleb Miller.
Wind kicking up here a bit, Anna.
Swung back across to Ung. They're just swinging it back and forth, O'Brien and Ung. No lateral pressure. Yeah, Chile's put this zone back on where it seems to be the space is very much horizontal. And it's all about whether they have the patience or not to not throw those kinds of throws.
Chile a chance to strike back here through Tim Horton. Tim Horton has it. Teo's poached. Not now. Dave O'Brien back with him. Teo gives up a fair bit of ground to reset the count and get the disc. He goes, he fakes the backhand. Dave stands right off. Teo now lets a low flick go, but it might do enough. I can't. It went over probably half a dozen players from the stack. Teo, Steve Williams shoots him a dagger or two. Teo, my bad, mate. Got the block. Whelan's at the back, giving plenty of direction.
Dave O'Brien picking up. They're putting their zone on back once again. Like I said before, it seems that there's no pressure throwing laterally across the field. And it's just about taking advantage of that and getting meters incrementally, if that's the space they're giving you. Particularly with the wind picking up, you don't want to be throwing bladey flicks or speculative scubas.
Yeah, it seems like Chile had made the decision for it just to be containing, not like pressure. And we did see a turn, we saw an error, and I think that's in part due to the wind kicking up.
Back to O'Brien, back to Ung. Haven't managed to make too much progress up the field because every time they get meters, they throw it backwards again to reset. Ung passing off. Back to O'Brien. They're just dishing it here and there, trying to, I think, create gaps in the cup so they can finally punch one through. O'Brien fakes a hammer but throws the scuba. Archie Richards gets one up the line. There's some space. There's some meters. And it's up high under Tom Butler. He's got to go. Got some pressure. Brings it down. Pops it back to O'Brien. He slings one to the end zone just in front. Butler dives, gets it right in front. Now he's got to be calm. Don't throw away the one right before the end zone. Oh, and it's popped back between two players. He didn't throw it away from the end zone. He threw it behind him.
That's 3. You're on 3. No doubt.
I'm sorry, Manly. I meant to be on your team.
Mike Baker, big lefty backhand. It's going to be hard for Tim Horton to get because he had Mark Calder between him and the disc, and they're going to pick it up and run quickly. And this is really clever play.
O'Brien on the line. Back to him.
Chile don't know what their D is.
They're not in any formation, really. I think coming into his own again.
Yeah.
On the far side of the field, centering backwards. O'Brien, Archie Richards. Looking again, that big throw up the line again.
I think Chile are finally set now. Limited the damage.
Richards on the far side.
The wing now, over here now. Don't let him get it.
O'Brien's free all over the space. Just if he can get the gap forward. Can he chase that down? He tries to tow it. Falls out.
All right, Chile a real chance now to bring it back to 9-8. And this is where things start to get very tricky. I think there's been an injury sub. We're not too clear what's going on. Yes. Chile are making us. I think both teams might be making a sub. They are. As we see Chile now line up in a vertical formation, or a vertical stack, as it's known. And struggling to get that first one off the line now. Steve Whelan's little goose step. Really happy to concede a lot of ground to Teo. Moves it out to Juan Raider. Juan holds it, moves it over to Mike Baker. Mike gives a little head jink, throws the hammer. Speculator, wheelie. There might be a call. There is a call.
A bit of contact in that.
So Wheelie's saying, I don't know which one of you it was. So he doesn't necessarily know who he's calling the foul on.
I felt something.
Yeah.
Looks like it was Jarek.
It's your man with the headband saying, I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
he's the one that absolutely had something to do
where
with it.
Where you were when it was thrown. Go where you were when it was thrown.
Taken back. And gone a bit further back than
Definitely a bit of contact. Okay. I just enjoyed the part where the hands went up straight away. It wasn't me, Your Honour. No. You got the wrong guy. Okay, so let's see if Mike just brings the blood pressure down half a step. Throws it the right way up, which is a good start. Nice backhand. Juan Raider. At about halfway. Looks flick. Tim's covered. Oh, Mike Baker again. He's not taken a single disc today that hasn't had someone right on his hammer. Marty O'Brien. They've got to be patient. Felson, sorry. Felson or Raider. And he goes to Willie this time. Enough separation. It is 9-8.
A beautifully weighted throw that was only going to be going to him.
And this is where the focus comes on to Manly.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this the last 3 points. You know, there was every chance Chile was going to come. Now they have. Yeah. What's their response? You know, and right now they're a bit too quiet. Not a lot of positive body language. You know, you're still up. You're still up in this game. You're still in control. If your offense executes from here on out, you will win the game. You know, and I think that's the mindset they need to have. Not, we've been broken.
Yeah.
We're not converting our Ds.
Stop having that buffer, though. Each offense point in your mind becomes more and more important. Each mistake becomes more and more costly.
Which leads to more mistakes. Yeah. As we head over to Dan, what are you seeing over there?
Well, I had a chance to have a chat with Holly Reeve, get the inside word for all this Manly team. They missed out on Div 1, so they are forced to come and play here at Div 2. She mentioned that if they felt so strongly about it, the vibe within the team is we need to prove our worth, that we're a Div 1 team, by winning everything here this weekend.
I love that mindset. That's good. And look, they're taking on, as we've said, Phat Chile, one of the favoured teams coming in. They've been in the last 3 finals, winning 1 from 3, and Manly taking it right to them.
David Bryan fielding pull. It's out wide to Noah Moss. Fakes a few big ones.
Faked our camera.
Finally decides just to throw a little one that Poe has to catch with a little layout. And he sends a big one, which is a bit bladey, but straight into the hands of Chile.
Huge chance for Chile now. Cole Fink with the disc. Eventually moves it to Milo. No long cuts coming, but they've got enough under in Sasha. Steve Campbell goes, but it's not going to get to Steve. Huge Steve!
A bidding Diggins jumps out in front. He chased that player down, ate up the distance. I think we're seeing a little bit of the youth and a little bit of the speed come into play there. That's an incredible bid.
Huge. Potentially game saving.
If I was him, I'd be saving that one.
Oh, big time. Yep. Call Mum, set up the DVD recorder. No, not DVD recorder. What am I? Oh my God, I'm old.
Put it on the Chromecast.
Chromecast, thank you. Yeah. Get the VHS out. 8-track.
Rewind it.
Oh, all right, anyway.
Throws to Butler, who's free in the middle. Pops it back to Moss. Thrown between each other at the moment. A bit of a handler weave. Not liking their options upfield. He finds one out wide with Poe. Is he going to throw a big one? No. Decides to be safe. Pop one up to Dave O'Brien. Diggins. Looking for a reset. Not finding one. Tom Butler's free in the middle. Campbell's out wide.
Just got to slow it down a little bit.
And O'Brien doesn't. He sends it deep to very free Diggins. How did he get there so quickly? He was just down throwing it.
Yeah. That'll be great for Manly's confidence.
That was a really nice point from them.
Yeah. At times it did look a little bit hectic, but they absorbed the pressure. And if there's someone that's going to do it outside of Noah, it's that man right there. Wavy Dave, as he used to be known.
He too partaking of a beautiful mullet. Not quite as long as some of the boys, but...
Yeah, I think when you're a bit... you're a bit older, the ability to wear it ironically, which is what I hope most of these gentlemen are doing, like wearing it because it's funny how disgusting it is. You don't really get that option to do. When you're a bit more senior, they go, oh, are you doing this legitimately? You know, so...
I just wonder what he's going to say at work on Tuesday.
Yeah. I played for a club team in the first couple of years. The first year was peroxide hair.
Good one.
Didn't leave it in long enough, so it was more like orangey yellow. And then the second one, which I thought at the time was more conservative, we all shaved our heads, but looking back, it probably, it aged a little bit poorly.
It's a different vibe, but it's still a slightly off-putting vibe.
And probably not the vibe we were going for, probably antipodean to our actual values as a club. But anyway, Chris Koo looks at Mike Baker, who lets a big lefty backhand off. It's beautiful, it's flat. And there's going to be a foul because there was a little bit of body going there.
Getting legs tangled up.
And it was Milo, sorry. So you'll see here. Yeah, I think he tried to box him out. I think it was almost a little bit more than legs. He took his eyes off. Yeah, I think when you take your eyes off the player, I think that should be an uncontested foul. Yeah.
And he is uncontested.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So go to where the foul was and
defender
then
realised
check
he
it in.
kind of got it wrong. He was out of position.
It's uncontested receiving foul, yeah? So go where the foul occurred, then you check it in, and then you move to the line after that. You're together. You fouled each other. You were next to each other then, yeah?
So Ruben directing what needs to happen. Not super clear, but anyway, they've all worked it out. Count's getting up, but they make it work. Gee.
Bit of a laser.
Didn't do it the easy way. Camby doesn't mind. He's here. He's having a clap. He likes it. Throw goals on stall 9. Don't dump it. Just throw goals. Throw lasers. Yeah. And that was Chris Koo, coach of the one of the Chile women's teams, touching the goal.
10-9 now, so Chile well in touch.
We got a game.
Yep.
We got a game.
That's what you want to see. competitive games, Division 2, high quality.
I think to see, and we've had a few competitive games today, which sometimes on day one you don't always get because some teams are more experienced than others. But I think we've had some really good games today. We've had a couple of really close ones, and this is shaping up to be another one.
Haven't had a universe point yet. Would like one of those.
And something you'll start to, I think you'll start to hear is the voice and the energy of Chile, particularly as in the context of this game and scoreline right now. They're the underdogs. I think you'll really start to hear sideline, the Campbells and the Browns really start to bring that sideline voice because that, oh my goodness, it almost hit him.
Wow. O'Brien, safe hands with the disc. Popping it back out.
At least knows where the disc is now.
Yep. Richards looks back centre, throws it to a very tight space. Calder back out to Godfrey out on the other side of the field, really spreading it. There we go. Finding it pretty easy to get lateral movement.
They're trying to find a transition.
Miller to Calder. Little give-go pops. A reset to O'Brien. He breaks out wide to Godfrey. And pings one through to Ung in front of a bidding Chile player.
Back to back. I think that were actually 3 bids in a row. 3 bids in a row. Marty bid, then I think it was Tim Horton, and then I think it was Tipman Wong.
Yeah. I think I recognise that layout form from a couple of points ago.
So here we go. Watch this. So well done from Manly. Dave O'Brien cuts back brilliantly. Bid 1. Great around break. Bid 2. Bid 3. So you know what? If you're Manly and you're absorbing that kind of pressure, you deserve all the points you can score.
Yeah. You also saw there that Manly kind of got a bit stagnated on this side of the field, trying to shove it up the line, and then as soon as they got a break off, the goal was easy to score.
Yeah, totally. And I think they've actually done that really well. The teams that we've seen on the stream today, this team's probably the best at using that lateral space. They're not getting sucked in on the sideline. We've seen a bunch of teams try to kind of jam it up one side, which is exactly what their defence is wanting them to do. But Manly much happier to go the long way around. So 9-11, creeping up towards time cap. We might see it in this point or the next. Aldon picks up Adam Rappaport. Back to Aldon. Through to Milo. And here we go, Steve Campbell, high release backy. Aldon's going. Doesn't go. One Raider. Aldon really on his bike at this point. He sees Cole Fink.
Nice.
An excellent throw, but no! Blind kind of dishy push pass. I thought it was going to get picked off. I thought Cole was blindsided to the Manly player coming through. And we were talking about this last game. It's as a receiver, your heart just skips when you see push pass and you're like, oh, is this going to work? But anyway, it does factually maintain a 1-goal proximity. Nice throw from Al.
A very pretty hammer. If I could throw hammers like that every time, I wouldn't think they were a risky throw.
That pushy is a risky throw. That one,
that I probably would get in trouble for throwing.
As we've got a timeout called. And as this game gets closer, I can't help but think that it probably plays into Chile's hands a bit more. If they can keep that gap, you start to talk about pressure and experience and all these kinds of things that we've discussed earlier in the game.
Yeah.
On the flip side, what Manly need to think about that they have that Chile might not have as much of is that athleticism and that energy and that excitement. So Dan, over to you.
Well, just listening in on the Manly huddle, Dave O'Brien opening with, there's nothing going on, we just want a fresh O-line here. And he emphasised on defence, enthusiasm and energy, cutting off the undercuts from Chile.
I like it. They're the words of a man that has 30 to 40 years of ultimate experience under his belt.
Yeah, I'd probably take what he says seriously.
Yeah, too well to listen to him, I reckon. Yeah. And we start to hear these sidelines get up. I was thinking about what I said earlier about Chile getting a loud sideline. What I forgot was that Manly have, 13 teams here.
Yeah.
And if they finish their games and start getting up on the sideline, we could have a very rowdy finish to this game.
And I think you can hear it now.
On cue.
O'Brien catches the ball, sends it to Calder. Out wide to Richards. Happy to just move it between themselves at the moment until something opens up downfield. No pressure to get meters when they're not there. Diggins down the line. Still looking for O'Brien, doesn't find him. Needs a reset, gets Calder.
What they've got to remember, most of the time they don't have a count on. Just relax.
Yeah, I think they're perceiving counting when there isn't any.
Correct, and that's Chile doing that deliberately.
Richards swings it wide, runs up the line. O'Brien's there. Throws it back to Richards. Not too far out now, probably 15 metres. Calder pops it. Godfrey tries to jump it in, doesn't quite make it. And pops it to Diggins, who toes it in. I guess.
So Chile working with a really unusual defence there. Mostly, even if you're playing a zone, you'll find someone that's marking, what's called marking the frisbee, and that is someone that will stand on the player that's got the disc and they will count. And so you can only initiate a stall count if you're actually standing, or technically within 3 metres, but standing with them. And Chile weren't doing that. But it was still like Manly were like, I've got to get it off, off. Even though there was no count, there's no impetus for them to actually go and throw it.
Yeah. Usually when you're so in your head and you count to 10 yourself in your head and you just kind of assume that someone else is also doing the same thing.
Yeah, you become conditioned, really. So.
12-10 now. You would think that if Manly manages to get this break, we've only got 2 minutes left in the game, so it'll be quite an uphill climb, Chile, to get 4 points in a row for the win.
Big point.
Pull sent up by Tom Butler. Not as bladey as Noah Moss's.
I like it.
Gives them plenty of time to get down.
They're down on the first pass, and Manly sideline will love that. Mike Baker once again wearing a Manly player as a shadow. Chris Koo to Aldon. Back to Chris Koo. Both Campbell and Baker went to the same spot, so instead they move it down the line. That goes to Cole Fink. Cole Fink looks for Steve Campbell, the little man.
There's been a travel called on the throw.
And there's a travel call on the throw. This might be one that's worth getting the game advisor's view on as we see Ruben coming in. And so both players having a discussion. I don't think they fully agree, but they're not. They're electing not to
back anyway.
Get the game advisor. So Cole Fink needs to be patient here now. Chris Koo. Lovely around break to Steve Campbell. To Mike Baker. Mike now lets a flick go.
Oh! Tom Butler almost does a somersault with that disc. There was a little bit of style on that, a little bit of on camera, and he calls a timeout.
Call. Almost said travel. That was what he did the first time. Timeout call. And the team's all sitting having a chat. I think they're wondering, I think his time cap has gone. As you'll see, it's past the 80-minute mark. So we are into the final moments of this game. Chile had a couple of looks at the end zone. Probably thought they had it once or twice there.
Might have been a pretty decisive D from Butler there.
So we see Butler picked it up from the far side. A nice
think
D.
if he kept rotating, he probably could have landed back on his feet if he wanted to.
I mean, I'm not positive he needed to do it, but you're on the live stream.
Yeah.
Mum,
there's a camera
check me
here.
out. Yeah, why not? So we're going to have one more look at the travel call, just to see, I guess, what the players saw or what they thought they saw. See if we can get it at some point. Will it prove to be decisive?
Andy, just to jump in quickly, I was in the huddle. This is going to be a backhand force for Chile.
Backhand force. So here it is.
Players are set up, Butler with the diss.
Oh, I've seen travels, and I'm not totally sure that was one, but anyway.
Bigger travels have definitely been let go.
Been let go, yes.
Catch for passes.
Well,
and it bounces out and hit the post.
The disc doesn't lie.
Just a bit too much excitement there. Pinged it into someone that was only a couple of metres away.
Still need to throw the goal.
Oh no!
They're going to go.
Infectious. Butler looks long and he shoots. Jarek is underneath. It's going to be a bit of a pack grab. Who has best position? He does. And he sends one very low to the end zone.
And that's the difference.
Yep.
A mature player will go, where's my dump?
Yep.
I've taken a screamer, let me dump it.
Yep.
And Chile now will have a lot of hard work. This is going to be a very long 70 metres to work this disc up. They've got to work hard on the unders. They do. Milo. Canby. Looking at Cole Fink. Canby's poached under. Canby needs to go and get the frisbee. Back to Cole Fink. Cole's pointing long like Babe Ruth. And now Canby puts one deep. Can't complete. Alex Felson. Canby replaying that one. In his mind, he's not happy with it. Now the volume starting to come from the Chile sideline. They need to stay loud. They need to stay engaged.
Almost doing shuttle runs at this point, back and forth. Butler throws off the post straight away. Pops a flick up.
Oh, wow.
Poe picks up the scraps. Decides to holster it. Jarek is still out deep, calling for it. Butler in the middle of the field sends one directly to the centre. Past the bidding Chile player. Pastos catches it and pops it through. Evan Malone for the catch. And that is a very good point to have scored.
100%. Chile had it 2 or 3 times probably.
Yep. Lost a little bit of their composure from the early part of the game.
We are having a game to 14, 13-10, similar to the, I guess the Carnage and Qual game.
Yeah.
If Chile are going to get this done, they need to get it done on defense first. Their offense is not going to see another point.
4 in a row, I reckon they've done more than that in the past.